Offense. Let's start out with offense. It seems like every year we always hear Bijan Robinson is going to be a wide receiver. Bijan Robinson this, Bijan Robinson that. They're going to play Algier and Bijan Robinson together. We really didn't see it unless they put Algier at fullback last year. I hope that this year we can play with two running backs on the field and motion Bijan and use him everywhere as a wild card. Zach Taylor. So what we're going to do is let's start out with the offense and training camp update. Start out with Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor not only has been implementing the more two-back sets where Bijan is in the slot or he motions all the way out to the X, and then they run a screen play for Algier, or they fake the bubble screen to Bijan and run a screen to Algier or a draw. Having both of them on the field is fantastic. If you can truly stick to that, this is Zach. Now, again, if you go back to episode 1 of Training Camp Confidential of this miniseries, I told you guys to look out for Zach Taylor to make a big jump when it comes to managing the offense and calling the plays. Remember, Zach Taylor came from the Rams. He's with Sean McVay. Sean McVay is like Shanahan. He's going to call the plays. He's going to help design. He's going to design the plays, and you're going to help. But he is the man when it comes to offense. It's not the offensive coordinator. He is the offensive coordinator, even if you have the title. So last year, Zach Taylor was calling plays for the first time, I think, in his professional coaching career. This year, he gets a full off season with Penix. He gets a full off season with all of the players that are healthy. I don't think we have anybody hurt other than Mooney, and we'll get there as well. But Zach Taylor now has almost a full arsenal of weapons to design plays around and understanding how to design plays and situational football. Normally, when players have the sophomore slide, when it comes to coming into the league and doing something in the second year, you know, you kind of hit that sophomore wall. You hit the rookie wall, and then you have the sophomore slump. I expect it's kind of opposite with coaches, right? I expect Zach Taylor, with his experience and knowledge and understanding of his own offense, to be able to call this offense and put us in better plays. Not better plays, but put us in better plays, but better situations and understand situational football. I think he really got in the groove at the end of the year, and I think he really, really likes Michael Penix. Why do I think he likes Michael Penix? Zach Taylor is studying the Washington playbook, the University of Washington playbook when he was in college playing with Kalen DeBoer. Now, I'm not going to nerd you out about college football because Kalen DeBoer is, I believe, at Alabama right now. He has Ryan Williams, which is another crazy wide receiver. But if you look at Kalen DeBoer's offense, Washington pushed the ball down the field. Penix likes to throw the ball down the field. He likes timing. He enjoys he loves to, I'm not going to say float or lob the ball. He likes to throw it on a rope. He likes to push it in there. So, pause if necessary. So, knowing that Zach Taylor is studying Washington's playbook and looking for formations and using ways, and again, Washington ran double running backs as well, and looking for ways to throw Bijan in the slot and play Algier, man, our offense could be absolutely crazy. Update. Quarterbacks. Let's get to the quarterbacks. Penix named the starter before training camp started. Running with the first team. Looked absolutely fantastic, except for one day where he was playing. Receivers dropped the ball, but also he just had a rough day. I think through an interception. He had a couple overthrows. He missed Bijan on a wheel route. I think that was like day 4. So, other than that, he has looked sharp. I think everybody, including I've been watching ESPN, NFL, and NFL Network, they are talking about how pretty his passes are. No ducks. No wobbles, nothing. What I do like most is that he is trying to involve Kyle Pitts. We'll talk about the tight ends and wide receivers later, but the fact that they're getting Kyle Pitts involved intentionally and they're being intentional about it is exciting. I have long said, I think I did a whole series with the Splashcast on why we should keep Kyle Pitts versus why we should trade Kyle Pitts. And I am of the belief that I would love to keep Kyle Pitts and turn him into Travis Kelce. I think he has everything that he needs to be other than a blocker to be Travis Kelce. And I think if he could I think blocking will come with old man strength. I think he's 24. Kyle Pitts is like 24. I don't think he can even rent a car. But he's like 24, 25. So, 27 to 30, if we can maximize his talent, that strength will come to where he'll be able to block. But if he can be Michael Penix Jr.'s safety blanket the way that Kelce is Patrick Mahomes' safety blanket, you can't double anybody at that point. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited that Penix is being intentional. I also like that I've read the news that Penix and Kirk will sit in their meetings and have discussions back and forth. And the coaches will just kind of let them kind of hash it out before they and then answer any questions. And then they all reconvene and come back together and discuss or have the discussions about what they talked about. I like that. That's great to hear that Kirk Cousins is living up to his word and saying, hey, man, it didn't work out. I'm not going anywhere as of now. So I am 100% locked in with the Falcons and being the best Falcon I can be. And that is one of the advantages of Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying it's a $40 million advantage to keep him as the most expensive backup quarterback in the history of football. But if you had to overpay a backup and you needed somebody to take a demotion, Kirk Cousins is probably that guy. And again, Kirk Cousins isn't chopped liver now. He is the favorite. He is the second team quarterback. His favorite target is David Sills, undrafted rookie free agent who is now a veteran wide receiver. But the thing that got everybody excited about Kirk Cousins is that he had a rushing touchdown in training camp. He went back in the red zone. Nobody was open. We'll talk about the defense. They've been playing out of their mind, but nobody was open. And he scrambled left and outran everybody to the pylon. And that apparently got everybody hype. The crowd, Raheem Morris jumped and gave him a chest bump. He jumped and gave Raheem a chest bump. Tells you about the Achilles, right? I told you guys before that Kirk's Achilles, ACLs, I know that those major injuries in modern medicine can get you back on the field a lot faster. But I still think that ACLs are year-long injuries. I think that Achilles are year to year and a half injuries before you're fully back and confident in the ligament's abilities. So the fact that Kirk Cousins is bootlegging left and rolling right and all of those things is a very positive sign. Does it mean that we're going to trade him? No. As a matter of fact, I think Raheem already came out and said they are not playing against the Lions, Kirk or Penix. So we have all the intentions of keeping Kirk. Does he have intentions of staying? I don't know. Time will tell. You never know. Indianapolis could come calling. There's a couple other teams that need a quarterback or may need a quarterback. Minnesota may come calling again. So when it comes to Kirk Cousins, it's still up in the air. But right now, he is looking sharp as ever in training camp. The third quarterback is up for grabs. Easton Stick. There is Emory Jones. I think Easton is leading right now. I think Emory Jones is just now getting some reps. I think Easton pretty much had the third QB under his thumb, the third QB position under his thumb. I don't know if Emory was hurt or not. I didn't see him on a lot of the injury reports, but I know that he will be battling. He did get some 11-on-11 action in the last couple of days of camp. So I'm assuming that he and Easton Stick will be battling it out all versus Detroit. I think Easton's got it. Being the backup quarterback really isn't always about ability. It's about being able to help the starting quarterback. Easton is a veteran. Easton has been the backup quarterback before. He knows exactly what to do. Wouldn't be surprised. But hey, Emory, Georgia boy, state, not school. He went to Florida. Best of luck. You should get a spot on the practice squad for sure. For sure. Let's move on to running backs. Everything's settled with running backs first two. Bijan Algier. We already talked about it. They plan on playing both of them on the field together, allegedly. They said it last year. They said it the year before, and it didn't happen. But again, we'll find out. Bijan looking like a superhuman. Out there looking like a superhuman. He juked out the cameraman on multiple occasions. All I've seen about Bijan is how smooth he looks, how much faster and quicker he looks than last year, and how much faster and quicker he looks compared to everybody else on the field. They're moving him all around. I think he opened up a lot of eyes as a receiver last year. This year could get crazy. Algier is, I think, in a contract year. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a conversation at the end of last year on exit interviews and during offseason with Zach Taylor and Raheem, where Algier and his representation made it known that, hey, guys, I was a 1,000-yard rusher as a rookie. There's no reason I shouldn't get the ball, and I need to get paid. Now, if you're going to trade him to make him a starter, because Algier is a starting running back in this league. But I would love to keep him because it keeps the tie by having the dual running backs and then be able to sub and play. It keeps them fresh. This is a 17-game season, and if we're trying to win the Super Bowl, that's another 3 to 4 games. That's 20 games, 20 NFL games, y'all, against massive human beings. We've seen. Look at Jordan Davis. The Eagles just won with. They just got everybody that's bigger than and faster than everybody else. So we're going to have to be able to manage our attrition throughout the season. So we got to have Algier here. They've all talked about how great a shape he's in. He's worked on his pass catching so he could be more involved in the screen game. I expect for 1,800 yards from Bijan. 1,800 to 2,000 yards total from Bijan and 1,000 yards from Algier. I think we could have one of the most prolific offenses in history if we hit our marks. Prisoner of the moment, cool. That's fine. But what is intriguing is the running back 3 competition. You got Jashawn Corbin, who I believe came from the UFL. He's battling it out with Carlos Washington. Carlos Washington seems to have a firm hold on running back 3. But you never know, and you're still fighting for a spot on the practice squad. But that running back 3 or the third running back on the depth chart, you're going to have to be able to do a little bit of everything. If Bijan is lightning and Algier is thunder, you got to be able to pass block and be lightning and thunder. You have to be almost a utility man that can do everything that those running backs can do. Maybe not as well, but you got to have some type of experience in doing it. Carlos is good between the tackles as well as he can catch the ball out of the backfield. Case in point. So I look forward to seeing that competition play out. Running backs again. Quarterback settled, running back settled. Our offense is pretty settled. So we're going to kind of not rush through the offense, but again, not much to talk about here other than to talk about scheme and schematics. Oh, scheme and schematics. To talk about the scheme, offensive scheme.